The Last Door Season 2 is a point-and-click adventure game that continues on from the events of the first season, with new protagonist Dr. Wakefield searching for his missing patient and delving into the dark corners of the Veil. The game is available on Steam, GOG, iOS, and Android. Atmosphere. Even in its quietest, most subdued moments, The Last Door manages to still feel dusty and disturbed. The sound of rumbling beckons from below. The streets of busy towns are harboring something, and the quiet villages are filled with people who are watching you. Urgent piano and soft, sad strings back you as the constant outsider, prodding and poking at things better left undisturbed. The game's pixel art allows some things to be obscured and unclear, but still provides enough detail for the identity of important things to never be in question. The feeling changes from chapter to chapter as you explore mansions, haunted chapels, and ancient towns, looking for the forbidden wherever the breadcrumbs lead you, and the gothic horror vibe that it presents on its surface with the aesthetics and time period keeps the game feeling creepy. Characters say unsettling and ominous things that reinforce the feeling that something bad is coming. In brief moments, the game leans into dread as it reveals the true darkness beneath, but these moments are rare. It's mainly a subtle feeling of spookiness that follows from moment to moment. As a point-and-click game with a heavier emphasis on the unknown and cosmic horror, the game still has puzzles that really require the same sort of madness you'd expect of cosmic horror to understand. This can cause some sections to drag as you try everything with everything, and the final chapter, whilst being the most atmospheric, really requires the most thinking outside the box to achieve. It can ruin the experience to use a guide, but some of the more unsettling moments in the game are things you'd never think to actually try. Ultimately, the atmosphere is great, but your tolerance of point-and-click puzzle solving will really hinge on how much of the atmosphere you resonate with. That's one Harry Mason. Scares. The game has some traditional frightening moments spread out across the 4 chapters with some minor jump scares, and these worked reasonably well for a point-and-click game, but what it did best was creating deeply unsettling moments by way of you interfering with things you don't really understand, and several forces that are at play are more than happy to remind you that you're not supposed to be here or doing the things that you're doing, creating off-putting scenarios that make you want to leave immediately. Though it's again difficult to call the game scary. There's a lot of cosmic horror concepts that really benefit the atmosphere more than the scares, and whilst The Last Door makes a valiant effort to make the game scary, it's too few and far between in a point-and-click adventure game. That's still one Harry Mason. Sound design. Beautiful, remorseful, and mysterious piano fills your ears as you discover the various secrets around the missing patient you're searching for, alongside some more unsettling string pieces. But in the final chapter, the familiar piano that's followed you since the first season gives way to this mesmerizing, whispery choir that drifts in like a dream and lingers like a headache. The music goes a long way to really help the atmospheres of their limited graphics, and it's honestly really impressive. The game's sound effects besides this are a little bare with mainly footsteps and doors, clicks and the occasional rattling sound. Some are pretty eerie, like the ticking clock in the Netherworld mansion, and the crying baby you can hear if you spend too much time staring at a painting is deeply unsettling. There's directional audio sometimes, though it's not hugely necessary in a game like this, and the voice acting is in very specific scenarios and sounds pretty good even if it's hard to gauge. The game uses reverb really well, and it again helps the immersion of the environments. The sound design is really great and sells the game and its immersion even further. That's 2 Harry Masons. Gore. The game doesn't really have any gory moments and it fits the story and scenarios just fine. That's 3 Harry Masons. Story. You play as Dr. Wakefield, who searches for his missing patient Jeremiah Devitt, who disappeared into the eponymous Last Door. Wakefield, determined to find his patient, embarks on a journey to discover what happened to him. The game's story is fairly reliant on your recollection of events from the first season, but does its best to explain. It's still very enjoyable on its own, with a lot of great scenarios that trickle intrigue as you explore the darker and more disturbing aspects of the themes that were brought up in the first season, sprinkling in gothic and folk horror in places as you go to different locations. Being linked to cosmic horror, a lot of the game's more interesting elements are experienced through character interactions with people that have seen things that you haven't, and the dialogue as a result can be pretty great as you hear tales of the madness that are bound to come, even if the people you talk to are deliberately vague. It was difficult sometimes to see how one thing led to another, with what seems to be deliberate gaps in time as you enter one dead end and arrive somewhere else. But the story of Wakefield's search and the secret society that protects this veil that's behind the Last Door continues to be really fascinating, making the final score 4 out of 5 Harry Masons. The Last Door as a series has been very entertaining, and the atmosphere and music always deliver in my opinion. Again, I'd like to remind you the whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games, and if you don't share his opinion then that's cool, I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I almost left the real world behind, I didn't give in, and I advise you don't either. There will be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. And always go check out Bumps in the middle of the night. Peace.